So we got AEW and WWE to discuss. I got some storylines and some angles within those storylines that we got to get your opinions on. So let's run through these real quick. I know we got a late start, so we're not going to go into too much detail, but let's just see what we got today. So here we go. I got the show set up right here, nice and easy. I got all our storylines. So we're going to start with something from Raw from this past Monday, the 16th, which I did a live stream on. I don't know if you know this, Robert, but the morning after I live streamed my review of Raw, but it wasn't that detailed because it was too fresh to me, and I was just kind of talking about what happened. So I was kind of just mentioning you guys. I was like, all right, well, when we go to Sunday, we'll really get the opinions from the wrestling experts here, Vlad and Robert. So here we go. So Punk and Seth go at it, and Adam Pearce makes the match for Netflix for January 6th. So I'm going to go through some pictures here, and we're going to go through what happened, not in detail, but just a couple things. And so this has to do with Punk and Seth. So this is the feud with Punk and Seth. And some of it is going to have to do with Drew McIntyre later on because Drew comes in and talks to Seth Rollins. But I'll get to that in a second. But I'll start with the in-ring segment. Robert, by the way, this is the new way I've been going through the segments, just saves me time. So, but yeah, we're going to go through some photos here for you people on YouTube. For anyone just listening, I'll try to describe what's happening best as I can. But CM Punk comes in to cut a promo, and he was talking all kinds of mad trash about Seth. I recall him saying, I'm ready to train you now. I didn't want to train you back then, but I'll come train you now. Come down here right now, and I'll give you a schooling, right? Basically what he said. And Seth Rollins came in from the crowd. No music, but he was saying, what was the burn he gave Punk? That he said, maybe if I look at you at the same perspective as these fans do, that I would like you better. And he takes a look at him from the crowd. He goes, no, you're still an asshole.
I don't think that. To me, that wasn't the line that really burned CM Punk. It's the one where he says that he has more WrestleMania main events.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You see, at this point, it's already fucking Monday.
Yeah.
This has been 6 days. So yeah, all right, good remembering, Robert. So,
Yes.
CM Punk, what did he retort with? He said it was fitting that Rollins was out there in the audience with the rest of the fans, which was kind of insulting to the fans in a weird way, but I don't know. Okay. Yeah, this is what Robert said. Robert said that this fan has more WrestleMania main events than Punk ever will. So yes, that got an oh from the crowd. And yeah, that was basically where Punk said, fuck this, I'm going to attack this guy. And he went out, and that's where it popped off. They start fighting, and it's a big pull apart. Here's some pictures of the referees and everyone trying to pull these guys apart. And what happens later in the night? I want to jump to something else. Well, okay, so Adam Pearce, just to finish the storyline for the day, he talked to Rollins. Rollins is like, do something about this, fix this. And Pearce is like, give me a minute, I'll do something. But he promises to get something done. Tempers were flaring, very heated scene. And Drew McIntyre comes in, so this was weird. Doesn't really have much to do with this. But he tried to bond with Seth over their mutual hatred of Roman. But Seth wasn't really having it, right? So he wasn't. And he did kind of burn him. He said, I'm going to do what you couldn't do, Drew, and I'm going to take care of CM Punk. Which was kind of weird because later in the night, it looked like Drew McIntyre, I don't know if you guys remember this, but it looked like he might attack Seth during Seth's interview, but he got blindsided by Sami Zayn. So I was thinking, like, did this burn really fucking cause Drew McIntyre to want to attack Seth Rollins? Because he could have just been marching over to Seth Rollins' direction to talk to him, but we never really got clarification on that. But regardless of that, to finish off the stuff with Seth and Punk, Adam Pearce was getting interviewed by Kathy Kelly, and he very proudly announced that for January 6th, which is coming up in the new year, on the next Netflix debut, that CM Punk will face Seth Rollins. So it's kind of surprising to me that they were going to face off on January 6th and not at the Royal Rumble or at WrestleMania, but they could also go again. But, this is the scene I talked about where Seth Rollins was getting interviewed, and if you see Drew Drew McIntyre stomping towards him. Very, 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 very,
menacingly, maybe.
It seemed like he was going to attack him or do something to him. But I consider this a separate storyline. So on my review, on my Raw post, which I'll put in the description below, that's storyline number 7. So I'm going to just focus in on the Seth and Punk stuff and the Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre stuff. If you want our reviews on that, you can go to our Raw post and you can see what we all thought of it. But for right now, I'll just get you guys' opinion on this this storyline for this episode. I'll limit your guys' review to just everything that happened on this episode between Punk and Rollins. So let's get some reviews. So I have our reviews right here for this this storyline from Raw. So Robert, the only one who gave it 2 thumbs up. Okay.
I thought about it. I definitely thought about it. Yep. Definitely.
Well, let me remind people the Malapert Smark rating system again. Sorry, I have my graphic. For those of you guys who don't know, this is how we rate storylines, angles, programs, whatever we're rating. And then me and Vlad, thumbs up. So we both liked it. Robert loved it. All right, who wants to go first? I guess I'll start with Vlad, the wrestling expert. Your thoughts on Punk and Seth, which was on our short list for Feud of the Year. Didn't get any points, but still, this is going pretty.
I think it's early. I think it could potentially win 2025 Feud of the Year if they they started strong at the end of 2024.
Yeah, you think they're going to go through all of 2025?
Well, no, but they could. No, not all of 2025, but they could still have the Feud of the Year in 2025. Is what I mean. But anyways, this was a great segment. Punk was fantastic to start the promo. Specifically his impression of Seth, I thought was
I forgot about that. That was so good.
That was fantastic. I laughed pretty hard. And I think he had some great lines, like, just because you wear Elton John's glasses doesn't mean you're Elton John, or just because, you wear wrestling boots doesn't make you CM Punk. I thought that was a fantastic line. And, as much as shit as I've given Seth, I thought he also had a nice bird, like you said, saying, like, hey, you might want to call me a fan or this, or that you trade me, but, like, hey, man, I've wrestled in more WrestleMania main events than you have, so what does that make you then, right? So far, like, it's getting good. I like where it's going. There's obviously, they've always seemingly been some tension as soon as Punk came back, so they've slowly had the pieces there already for this feud, and now that Punk is done with the bloodline stuff, he's done with Drew, he can focus in on Seth. It's going to be great. I don't really want to rant and rave too much about it because we're just starting it, but so far, like, the first couple of weeks have been tremendous. So I'll leave it at that. Good stuff.
All right. Robert, I'm going to put 90 seconds on the clock. If you want to use some of it or all of it, it's up to you. But let's hear your opinions on a storyline that you loved on the day. 2 thumbs up from Robert.
I did love this. I loved how CM Punk started it off, just like what Vlad mentioned, and the stuff that Seth replied with. And I don't generally consider myself a big Seth Rollins fan, but whenever he's involved in feuds, in particular with either CM Punk or Roman Reigns, he tends to do really, really good work, maybe because he has legitimate, beef with both of them. Yeah, legitimate issues with both of them. Maybe that's what draws out, so much venom from him when he's doing promos against them. So, whenever he's in a feud with either one of them, he tends to do really, really good, and that's continued this past Monday. I love it. And then, as crazy as this sounds, I'm actually looking forward more to this match than the tribal combat between Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Like, I didn't think I would say that, but it's true. I'm actually looking more forward to this one.
I think also because we don't really know the booking of how they're going to book this match. I think we have more of an idea of, or at least we are assuming we know the booking of the tribal.
True, that and I think it lost a lot of steam, that feud, because I don't know. So Solo hasn't looked too good these past few months because he kept on losing. His bloodline kept on losing. So yeah.
All right. Well, as you guys are saying, it's obvious that bloodline rule or tribal chief match? Obvious,
Well,
it's obvious
it's
Solo's
not
gonna
100%
win,
off.
right?
Well, that would be the surprise.
Yeah.
You know what? I would say, but I don't know where they would go
Solo
after.
has to win that, man. Solo has to win. And what the fuck are they gonna do with Solo if he loses? I guess he could just join
Man.
Roman's bloodline. I don't know.
I can only imagine. I can
don't
only
know what's gonna
imagine your reaction if he loses again.
Yeah,
No, if he loses again, it's fine. Honestly, just end him and put him back into Roman's bloodline as the lackey. But if you want to have him have any chance of being legit, you gotta have him win this.
Okay,
I think he's gonna win. I think I'm picking
I'm just
Solo.
gonna say, like, win or lose, I want to see an appearance from The Rock.
Right.
There you
That's a
go.
good point. And I think that could be something that maybe if he's like somebody helps him win, I could see that happening. And if it's The Rock, well, that's an added bonus.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna move on.
Please.
My last honorable mention, I think, is from the New Day, because the New Day was for 2 weeks in a row the segment of the week for us. So I guess we do have to kind of give them some kind of follow up, right? The heel turn and the week before that when they had that thing with Xavier and Kofi arguing together. So on this day they're trying to go to the locker room, and Rey Mysterio tells them, "You're not welcome here, right? You got to leave." So I thought that it was a little segment on Raw. They weren't very prominent, but I liked it. So there you go. Rey Mysterio in the locker room. Don't want New Day dressing with them. Go somewhere else. You have any comments on the New Day's segment here? Anybody? Or should I move
Yeah,
on
I mean,
from here?
it's now developing a little slowly, but I think so far so good. We'll see what happens with them. You know, obviously, as you said, we were very fond of 2 of the segments that aired on Raw, and we'll see what happens next.
All right, and then my last thing I want to mention real quick is from Raw also, which both of you guys didn't really have a comment on what this could be, but there's like a little
I didn't even see it.
a little video package with the number 0 with a line through it, and people are trying to guess who it could be. So
0 with a line to it.
a 0. Well, to me, the best I could come up with is if you have a 0, right? And then what if you just put it down like that? Cero miedo, güey.
Oh my God.
Cero miedo.
Wow.
Is it Penta? Is Penta coming
Penta?
to WWE without Rey Phoenix?
We don't know. Maybe.
But that's
would they really
one
have
of the
the whole video package for Penta? No, for Penta. Just for Penta?
Well, I'm hearing they are going to bring Penta in without Rey Phoenix, and that's why Rey Phoenix got so pissed off that he went on that Twitter tirade against Tony Khan, you know, talking shit that he's just holding him hostage, basically, which I agree with the wrestlers, man. Don't hold the wrestlers hostage, man. Do what's best for wrestling. I know me and Vlad disagree with this, but if Rey Phoenix and if the Lucha Brothers can help WWE, I think that's good overall for wrestling, and I think that helps AEW. If WWE is successful, that helps AEW because it makes people want to watch wrestling.